coaches and this coaching staff from the Corky Rogers era, as Netting's going to keep it himself. Penalty marker is dropped. There are a number of assistants who were on the staff with Corky Rogers and then Wayne Belcher who have stayed here at Bolles, who continue to be a part of things.
False start, offense, number 6, 5-yard penalty, second down.
And talking with Matthew Tobin, well, what are you going to do with all these coaches? He said, no, it's great to have all this help, to have guys who know the program, who know the school, who know the kids, who have relationships with the kids already. Said it was a huge benefit to keep a lot of those coaches on staff from one administration to the next, in essence. There's a lot of institutional memory that's involved with some of these coaches. Still, he did bring some guys across, including Josh Hoekstra, who was handling the offensive coordinator duties. The two had been together at Clay previously when Toblin was there, and Hoekstra, a former JU quarterback, had became the head coach at Clay and left to take this job.
And that's really the exception more oftentimes, right, than the rule. When you have a transition from one staff to another, sometimes there's hard feelings. Well, sometimes there's a firing, which wasn't the case in this situation. But for them to be able to keep some of those guys around was tremendous.
Netting hit as he throws, and the ball flutters short. He was looking to get the ball downfield to Caden Fordham, but could not push it downfield with the pressure in his face.
Yeah, there certainly was some penetration from up front, especially from the top of the screen there. They're bringing some blitzers. They're trying to get some pressure on. You know, UC is not feeling very threatened in regards to Bolles' passing game. So I think what they're going to really try to do here is load the box. And Bolles is going to try to have to figure out how to get a little more balance in their game plan.
Yeah, and there's the young man who made the tip, Jerome Manning, who's made his presence felt on defense and is a punter in this game. And now he jumps off sides, right as I gave him the old broadcaster's praise.
Just as I mentioned earlier, not too many penalties in this game now. As the game goes by here in the opener, some of these guys are going to be feeling some fatigue. We might see some calves cramping. I think we saw some of that in the earlier games of the today, which it was hotter then, but still it's humid out there. We're going to have some conditioning related type of penalties, and maybe even some guys go down with some cramps, that type of thing. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, this has been a long day and a different kind of timing for teams, particularly the teams who didn't know when their game was going to kick off exactly. Of course, the first game between Lee and Bartram we knew would kick off at 1, but when you have 3 games on the same field on the same day, things go a little later, so you have to make adjustments to when you warm up and when you get ready.
Number 28, 5-yard penalty, third down.
Well, I give all you folks from Channel 4 a lot of credit. I mean, y'all have been here since noon. It's been one of those sweltering August Florida days, and here we are in the nightcap. It's 8:30. We're not even halfway through it, and you guys are going to sleep well tonight, I'm sure.
Forget noon. Our crew was here about at daybreak getting things set up for this broadcast, so kudos to the guys in the truck and out on top of the press box on the cameras and our camera crews everywhere. They were also here yesterday getting things set up, so they have done the yeoman's work. All I've had to do is show up and sweat, which I've done both of pretty well here so far. Here's Netting breaking out of one tackle and hit hard as he crossed the 45 to about the 43, and it's going to be 4th down and 6, and an interesting position here for the Bulldogs. Will Matt Toblin roll the dice here and go for it? It would be too far for a field goal to be sure. And the punt, if you punt it into the end zone, you're only gaining 22, 23 yards. So we'll take a hydration break and an opportunity for Matt Toblin to think about it for the Bulldogs facing 4th down. Time for a Sonic hydration break. Every night you can take a break after 8 to enjoy our Sonic nights with half-price milkshakes. We'll be back to the action in just a moment.
Life happens. Reality strikes. Priorities shift and you find yourself in a place you never dreamed. But then, opportunity emerges. A flame you thought was out reignites. Redefine your future. It's your turn. FSCJ.
Nominated deserving teacher to be recognized as the Sonic Drive-In Classroom of the Month. Winners will receive $250 in school supplies as well as Sonic slushes for the entire class. To nominate a teacher, go to the contest page on news4jax.com. Sponsored by Sonic Drive-In.
When you walk into a gate, you'll get more than you ever imagined. Like quick and hearty meal options, fresh and fast pick-me-ups, and friendly faces to serve you. Gate has everything you need to keep up with your busy life. Say cheers to 25 years with a Jaguars 25th Anniversary Collectible Cup filled with your favorite fountain drink for just $1.25. Gate, serving up more.
The Publix Bold City Showcase Drive of the Game is brought to you by your local Southern Chevy dealers.
At Tire Kingdom, buy 2 tires, get 2 free when you purchase our value installation package. Plus, for a limited time, use your store credit card and get a $75 mail-in rebate and pay no interest for 6 months. Hurry to the Labor Day sale at Tire Kingdom.
Life gets real. Time flies. You can lose who you are in the grind. But then, opportunity knocks. Will you choose to answer this time? Rediscover what makes you tick. It's your turn. FSCJ.
Football Friday on Channel 4.
Someone's going to play slow. Someone's going to play fast. Who's playing slow today? Who's playing slow today?
Football Friday on Channel 4.
Let's go. Let's make sure we're moving. Make sure we're moving. Make sure we're moving. Y'all got to be aggressive, man.
Football Friday on Channel 4.
Hey, we're special teams right off the bat. We're straight to kickoff.
Football Friday on Channel 4.
Football Friday on 4. Presented by the law firm of Fair and Farah.
5:30 to play before halftime after the hydration break. A little hydration there. Bulldogs are going to punt. Caden Forden coming out in punt formation for Bulls. Coming up, we're going to talk with Rick Ganson, who owns 12 local Sonic locations. A guy who's gotten some of my money through the years, I'm guaranteed. And we'll talk to him about their support of this event. And we'll see if he brought any tots along. Here is the punt from Fordham, high and hanging, and this is going to be a flag as the return man was waiting for Juwan Gray, and he was banged pretty well just before the ball got there by Bolles.
Well, that was the right decision, I believe, by Bolles to punt at this point in the game when it's 7-7, and the ball's at the 45-yard line. You don't want to give UC the ball in with such good field position, but not a good decision by the coverage team there to make that hit on basically a defenseless player looking up for that punt and waiting for it. So obviously that's going to be a penalty and give UC more favorable. Would have been great field position for Bolles anyway. They had UC back within the 10, but now they're going to spot it out there a bit further.
Well, penalties and turnovers can turn a game in a hurry. This one is tied obviously at 7-7. We'll see how it all plays out. Mike Hayden will have the announcement on the administrative decision here.
Kick catching interference on the kicking team. It was a touchback, so the ball will be placed on the 20-yard line, plus the 15-yard penalty, first down, University Christian. So
excellent field position now.
Special
and look at
teams.
this shot, Kyle, of Jacksonville from the Lee and Kate's Glass chopper cam. Lee and Kate's Glass, you can see a big difference, and you can see a beautiful city there as night falls over Jacksonville.
Certainly is beautiful. No thunderstorms tonight either.
Nothing of the sort, and McClendon trying to get going, but he is wrapped up and pushed back. Elias Batten with one hand wrapped him up, grabbed his jersey, and that big strong left hand he would not let go. Watch this play by 76.
Look at that. That's some strength right there. He's got that jersey, said, come on, get out the ball.
He did. It looked like a bouncer.
Yeah. Exactly. Throwing him out.
Got the muscle in there.
You definitely get the impression that Bolles is feeling confident right now. They've got some momentum on their side. They're making a couple mistakes, especially special teams wise, but they're feeling pretty good about themselves.
Riles from the shotgun for University Christian. Throws to the near side. This one is caught. A quick hitter to Dwayne Wakefield. Wakefield, we've seen on the defensive side of the ball, now in there as a slot receiver.
Again, that's just UC trying to get the ball out to one of their athletes in space, Wakefield. And right there was very nice coverage by the cornerback. Number 13, Taiwo. Let me see if I can pronounce this last name right. Sogbeson?
That's pretty close.
Close?
Yep. Sogbeson.
Sogbeson. It's a tongue twister.
It is not a name you usually see on the back of a jersey.
Not at all.
3rd down and 7 from the 38. They'll hand it off. McClendon running to the right. Found a little room, but not enough. Again, Batten was in there on the tackle along with J.T. Jameson. You also see Justin Cayenne in the area.
Someone made a heck of a lick right there when the running back went up in the hole. I couldn't quite catch the number. Might have been Mac Marone right there, number 5. Looks like he's got an injured hand.
So now 4th down and 3. And will UC go for it here with 3:22, 3:21, the clock running in the second quarter of a tie ball game.
Interesting call. 7-7 second quarter, 4th down, going for it on your own territory.
David Penland's rolling the dice here with his freshman quarterback, unless he's just trying to draw him off sides. And I think that's exactly what was happening. And now UC calls timeout, and I think we'll likely see the punting team come on now for Penland. You know, we've talked a lot about Corky Rogers and his great accomplishments, but at the age at which he is, David Penland's been pretty fantastic as well. He's already led UC to some state championships. University Christian calling timeout with 3:06 to play in the quarter. This timeout brought to you by Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Proud to be the official sports medicine provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Sharks, Axemen, and Jumbo Shrimp. Find out more at joionline.net. And you saw the shot of David Penland, 35 years old, and 3 state titles since he became the head coach, and a guy who has been a lifer, went to school at UC.
Well, you're absolutely right, Cole. I mean, so far we've been a little bit biased in our coverage here because of the fact that Coach Tobin is new at Bolles and all the adjustments, and it being a night that we're, honoring Corky Rogers. But David Penland's done a heck of a job over at UC, and we don't certainly in any way want to discount that by what we're saying about the things that are going on at Bolles here. And it's a family affair. I guess not only has Coach Penland been there his whole life, but his father and grandfather also involved in the school and even on the staff.
Yeah, his dad is an assistant coach, and his grandfather is on the board at University Christian. So it certainly is, as you say, a family affair for David Penland, and a guy who's about to become a father for the first time.
That's exciting. I saw him in the interview, I guess that was a couple weeks ago, talking about how excited he is about that.
Here's Fordham on the return. Makes a cut and another one. Works to the outside. Hit from behind. Did the ball come out at the end? University Christian is saying yes. The officials are saying nothing as of yet. UC wants the fumble, but we're not seeing a signal from the officials as of yet. We may have to talk about this one. They are saying it is UC ball. So Fordham on the return and had a free runner coming from behind. Let's take a look at this replay and see if we can see who recovered this one.
Well, Caden Fordham was making a heck of a return. A couple nice cuts right here, but you got to watch out. He's holding it a little loosely. You can see the back of that ball, and when you have a guy come up from behind, that's oftentimes what happens. Going to knock that ball out. That was actually a heck of a play by UC. Yeah, that defender from behind just hit him right on the ball, popped it out. Huge play for University Christian.
And I believe it was Coast Moyle who recovered the fumble, and you see Fordham maybe
feel bad for me. He had a heck of a return going. Just had to cover that ball up there because you don't know what's behind you.
I'm going to say a little bit of physical pain maybe from the hit, and a lot of anguish for the fumble.
Emotional.
So 2:49 to play before halftime, and an opportunity for University Christian here to recapture the lead. Riles dumped it off. It's caught. Joseph Carter still going, puts his shoulder down, and he's down inside the 20 to about the 20 to the 15-yard line. Joseph Carter, who had the 1-yard touchdown run earlier, with a big play here through the air.
Again, just getting the ball out to an athlete in space. Had a missed tackle early. Another missed tackle right there. Got to stay balanced, keep your balance, and don't go for any kind of head fakes. And heck of a play, though.
Colson Cronk went for the interception and was just inches away from making a big play on defense, but that allowed Carter to turn it upfield. So 1st and 10 now from the 17-yard line. University Christian, Riles hands it off McClendon up the middle. Not much running room up the gut, maybe 2 yards, as University Christian is making a trip to the Publix Greenwise zone. Greenwise products are designed specifically for shoppers who pay extra attention to how items are grown, raised, and processed.
Well, Caden Fordham's really wanting to make up for that fumble on the punt. He just came off the edge there, got penetration, got that tackle for a loss. So he's doing whatever he can to make sure that University Christian is not able to capitalize on his mistake.
Caden there, number 1. So 2nd down, call it 8 from the 15-yard line.
Timeout.
And Bolles will call timeout. And once again, Chance to talk things over. The Bulldogs calling timeout with 1:49 remaining in the half. This timeout brought to you by Baptist Health, where you can now check ER wait times or book an urgent care appointment online anytime. Find out more at BaptistCareNow.com. University Christian, a 2A school, and after this game, they'll take on Christ School of North Carolina. Then a matchup with Clay at home will be the home opener. Then home against First Coast, and you see the rest of the lineup. North Florida Educational. And interesting last game of the year for UC as they'll take on Bishop Kenny on Halloween in a game that's
spooky.
You never know. Sometimes more interesting in the crowd. You might get a outfit or two. But against Bishop Kenny, that is going to be quite a test for UC with BK, new coach there at Bishop Kenny as well, and seeing how things will play out throughout the course of the year. That could be a major game as far as playoff implications are concerned, because BK should have pretty good strength of schedule and opponent strength of schedule for the new formulation. Here's Riles avoiding pressure, cocks the arm and throws, and it is incomplete over on the far side. He was trying to find Juwan Gray, the sophomore wide receiver, but it was well defended over on that side by Jackson Fowler. Here's the Bulldogs schedule. A lot of games against teams not from this area. It's been difficult for the Bulldogs to get games, particularly not being in a district now back in 4A. So Hialeah, Miami Lakes, North Hampstead's in Georgia, up in the Savannah area. Matchup against St. Augustine will be a big one. Creekside, Palatka, Melbourne Central Catholic, always a good team there. At the John Carroll team as well, and then Daytona Beach Mainland. So a lot of games not involving teams from Northeast Florida, at least not from our immediate area, for the Bulldogs on the schedule this year. They'll dump it off to McClendon, who finds his way forward and going to be close to the first down marker, depending on the spot here. Needed to get to about the 6-yard line, maybe just inside the 7. The ball seems to be resting right on the 7, so it's going to be 4th down and a yard for UC.
This is a big play as any in the game, obviously. If they can score here, that's a big momentum boost going into halftime. Bolles obviously want to keep them out of the end zone, maybe even just limit the damage to 3 points.
If you're David Penland, you have to be very pleased with how your freshman quarterback has played so far. Guy getting his first varsity start, and he certainly looks like a guy who can make a difference for this UC program as the timeout is called by UC, and with 57 seconds left, UC calling the timeout. They're going to talk things over in a 7-7 ball game. David Penland going to do a little thinking here about how he wants to approach this 4th down. You have to go for it in this situation unless you just want to get the lead with the field goal team. Kind of depends on how you think that second half is going to play out, doesn't it?
It sure does. I don't know what kind of kicker he has on his sideline, but you can go ahead and play conservative and go for 3 here. But I'm sure his guys right now are in that timeout circle telling him, hey, let's go, we can get this. And you're right, though, going back to the quarterback play, DeSurio Riles, freshman, doing a heck of a job, making good decisions, kind of like we talked about earlier in the game. I think that's all. They don't expect him to take the team on his shoulders as a freshman, win it for him, go out there, manage the game well, make good decisions, and he's doing just that.
You mentioned the kicking situation, freshman quarterback, but also a freshman kicker for University Christian. So the Christians going to go for it here as Riles heads out there once again, inside a minute to play in the first half. So out of the shotgun.
Looks like Bolles is bringing pressure.
They do. Riles is going to run it. Breaks one tackle, has the first down, and in the arms of a defender, able to pull himself forward to about the 3-yard line. Simon Bracken, the tight end, was in there, and Riles a little slow in getting up, but Bulldogs put some of the offensive players in there as well, including Bracken in as a linebacker to try to make a play there on that big 4th down. But with 44 seconds, the clock will roll, and it's 1st and goal from the 3. Not a lot of time here, no more timeouts remaining for University Christian.
Bolles brought the pressure from the correct side last time, but they just weren't able to bring him down. They needed to get him down on that first effort, and the second effort he got it.
They'll hand it off. McClendon running to the right, breaks the tackle, and he will walk in. Touchdown, Max McClendon, with 20 seconds remaining before halftime. University Christian is back on top.
Well, big-time momentum boost for University Christian right here. 20 seconds left in the first half. They're able to go into halftime with a score. We're going to take a look at it right here. Max McClendon. What a great name.
University Christian up 13-7.
Takes that ball. Eludes that first level tackle. Nobody else there. Nobody home for him.
After 18 offensive touchdowns last year, McClendon gets his first this year on the run, and it is a big one that put University Christian up 13-7, and now the extra point coming from Carson Hancock. It is up, and it is no good. He missed it wide left, so that could be a big part of this ball game going forward into the second half. 13-7, University Christian with the lead over Bolles, and that drive set up by the turnover, and McClendon capping it with this run.
Yeah, McClendon did a nice job. He had a little ankle tackle he had to avoid right there, just around the right end. And I think Bolles was bringing some pressure up the middle, maybe expecting that's where they're going to go, and there was just nothing out there on the edges.
All right, so we'll see if the Bulldogs get much of a chance here at the end of the half. University Christian accepted the opening kickoff, so the Bulldogs will have the honor in the second half to open the second half.
Yeah, need to see a little better special teams play out of the Bulldogs. They've struggled, obviously, with a turnover on punt return team that just led to a University Christian score at a very inopportune time. They let up a very big kickoff return to open the game, and then also kicked one out of bounds. So they're struggling a bit on special teams, and I'm sure that's going to be a point of emphasis for Coach Toblin going forward.
So many times at every level you see special teams, for whatever reason, being a kind of late developer for a team. Whether that's because you have guys who haven't necessarily played together on coverage, or you have a return man who develops. And here is Fordham again on the return out to the 42-yard line. Good job on the return. Davis Ellis, by the way, was out on the field for that one as well, so he's back on the field in the ball game. He's got his left elbow wrapped up, but Caden Fordham is looking the part as a return man for the Bulldogs here after the fumble off the earlier return. Looking very good here out beyond the 40-yard line.
Caden Fordham's a heck of an athlete. I remember watching him play at the younger levels, middle school and Pop Warner age, and as you mentioned, doesn't necessarily look like an offensive tackle, NFL offensive tackle son, but he's a good athlete. He's mentally strong. He's bouncing back really well from that earlier mistake.
All right, how aggressive will Matt Toblin get here with 16 seconds left? He'll get the ball to start the second half. You go for something here, or do you play conservatively?
I don't imagine they will, especially given that the strength of their team and their offense right now is their running game.
3 receivers out to the right, including the tight end, Simon Bracken. Netting to throw it. Looking left. Davis Ellis is there, and it's knocked away, and Ellis down, grabbing the elbow again. Well, you can see that elbow is really giving him some trouble here. He tried to make it a go. He was sort of favoring it during the return as he was blocking, and
he's definitely
looks
hurt.
like it's hurting for sure.
I'm not sure if he'll be coming back into the game. He just gave it a go there and tested it. He tried to do a double move, and Netting put the ball up to him, giving him a chance. But actually, as you can see here, Ellis goes up to get it. Good coverage. Defensive back didn't go for the double move.
There is Vasson with the hit. And that will be the last snap of the half. There is a Bulldogs player down, looking like it's a cramp situation.
And usually if you're cramping right now, you better go get an IV at halftime, because you're way behind the 8 ball as far as hydration.
Halftime is here in the final game of the triple header, the Publix Bold City Showcase. University Christian with a 13-7 lead. Here is a little background on the Bolles School. We mentioned Tyler Hodges, the head of school, who's out there with a presentation with Corky Rogers earlier. This school was established in 1933, originally as a military academy, then became co-ed about 35 years later. And now as a 4A team, they've competed in 2A, in 3A, in 4A, and in 5A, and back to 4A now with the reclassification and some of the other schools growing around them. And again, we were talking about some of the great alumni at the Bolles School. There have certainly been quite a few, but you look at the classification, and no districts for Class 1A, which is the rural classification, up to 4A. And you see the size breakdown as far as student enrollment. a lot of schools in that 5A, 6A, 7A, 8A range, over 70 and 80 schools per category there. Bulls at 4A now. It's going to be very interesting this season to see how it plays out in terms of the way they compete. We know how University Christian stacks up in the 2A. It's always one of the teams to beat in the 2A championships. But Bulls has gone from being a 5A school the last 2 years, competing with 83 schools or something thereabouts over the last couple of years. Now just 43 schools in the classification. Now there are some very good schools in the 4A class, particularly down south, but we'll see how it all plays out. This is a bit of a change in terms of the FHSAA. Third year where they have had this system in place, where you have a team with the entire region playing for 8 playoff spots. Only the champion of each district is guaranteed a playoff spot. But again, 4A and lower do not have a district specifically, so it's all decided based on an RPI. Winning percentage, opponent's winning percentage, and your opponent's winning percentage go into play. So playing high quality competition is going to help you win or lose. If you can beat high quality competition, even better. Both of these teams certainly would qualify in the high quality competition. All the teams playing here in the Publix Bold City Showcase will do so. So here is the start of the third quarter. A short kick. This one is taken by Fordham, coming upfield to the 35, bouncing to the outside of the 40. And Caden Fordham continues his good play on the returns. Late penalty marker came in right at the end of the play, behind the play. And this one may be coming back.
I think Caden Fordham has just as many return yards as the Bulls offense has on the evening. But as you mentioned, it may be coming back, Cole.
You take a look at the numbers.
Actually defensive, it looks like.
And you take a look at the numbers here, Kyle. This is the full attendance for today, not just this game, but all 3 games in the Publix Bold City Showcase. 21,204 have come through the turnstiles here at Skinner Barco Stadium. What a turnout for high school football in Jacksonville.
Amazing turnout. I showed up during about the second game here with Mandarin and Atlantic Coast, and was really pleasantly surprised to see.
During the return, the kicking or the receiving team hitting a defensive player, 15-yard penalty from spot of the foul, first down.
So this was against Bulls, and we'll go back to the 30-yard line.
That's a shame. That negates one of their biggest plays of the game. And again, as we mentioned earlier, special teams has been one of their downfalls tonight, in addition to the turnovers. One of the turnovers coming on special teams.
So 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line from Ben Netting, who has the touchdown run. The Bulldogs, though, only 17 passing yards as a team in the first half. Only 95 yards of total offense in the first half. And they'll hand it off to Nunu Samuels, running right behind 3 blockers, able to find a few yards up to the 34-yard line. Give them a 4-yard gain on first down. And if the Bulldogs are going to get things going in the second half, you would figure that Samuels would be a big part of it.
I was just going to say that exact thing. I think basically what Bulls needs to do right now is just settle down. You're not far behind. As a matter of fact, only 6 points, not even a touchdown and an extra point. Steady dose of Samuels and all your running backs. Run the ball down the field. Establish a drive.
Here is Samuels again, running right up the middle. Only a couple this time. They'll bring up 3rd down and 4. Samuels last year, coming back off the ACL. 1 game, 15 carries, 78 yards, re-injured the ACL. So to have that kind of obstacle for a young man and have him come back here, we talked to him before at high school media day. He was excited for the opportunity to show his stuff out here on the field at the Publix Bold City Showcase, and Joseph Carter has jumped offside.
Encroachment defense number 2, 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
First down for the Bulldogs out to the 41-yard line.
That's something University Christian certainly doesn't want to do. You want to make them earn every yard all the way down the field. Right now they just gave them a first down, and don't want to make those kind of mistakes.
We do not see Davis Ellis out on the field for the Bulldogs. We mentioned he came back in the ball game, but then the elbow seemed to give him problems again. So the Bulldogs without the transfer wide receiver, and running right up the middle is Ben Netting. Gets to the 45-yard line.
Based on how this first drive is going, I'm getting the impression that Coach Toblin said to them, settle down, we're going to go out there and we're going to try to ground and pound, just like we did on our scoring drive, which was probably about 70 or so yards and pretty much primarily on the ground.
2nd down and call it 6 from the 45-yard line. We'll hand it off. This is Frazier hitting the backfield and dropped. Good penetration that time by Arthur Walker for University Christian as he came up from his outside linebacker spot to make the play.
Arthur Walker went unblocked right there from his defensive end outside linebacker position. Sometimes you'll book a man or you'll leave a man unblocked and you're counting on him not being able to get to the play quickly enough, but Arthur certainly took a good angle and made that play untouched.
University Christian will play sort of almost a 4-4 defense at times, depending on the formation. They've had to drop some guys back into coverage because Bolles uses a lot of 3 wide receiver formation. Guy in the middle is Cody Kopp, number 6. Quick throw, netting, and this one's almost intercepted. He was not on the same page with Caden Fordham. Fordham was on a go route, and Netting was throwing the out.
Well, there was some type of adjustment that Netting expected Fordham to make, and Fordham, what he saw in the coverage was leading him to believe that he had a go route. And as you mentioned, they were not on the same page. Good thing it didn't turn out worse for Bolles.
In and out of the hands of Jamari Fudge. So the punting team coming on, and Fordham will go back to try to punt this one away. Fordham almost had this one blocked, gets it away, bounces at the 20, takes a Bulls roll inside the 15 and down to the 11-yard line. So 9:09 to play, 9:08 to play here in the third quarter. The Bulldogs can't get anything going on that drive, so it'll be a long field for University Christian, but the Christians have the lead 13-7 here in the third and final game of the Publix Bold City Showcase. In case you're just tuning in now, Mandarin, a 28-12 winner over Atlantic Coast in the preceding game, and then the early game at 1 o'clock today, Bartram Trail, a dominant second half to beat Lee 48-20 to start the year. And Mandarin in good shape in the News for Jack Super 10 with a win, but with a couple of the other top 3 teams losing, Mandarin would have a chance to potentially move up to number 1. And look at Caden Fordham on defense now, tracking down the wide run from University Christian's Max McClendon. We've seen Fordham all over the field today.
He's punting the ball, he's returning the ball on special teams, and making some really nice plays on defense, as he just did right there. And making some nice offensive plays as well. I think what Bolles might need right now is get themselves one of those turnovers. See if they can even up that turnover battle. That'd be really big for them if they can get one down here. We'll see whether UC puts the ball in the air.
A lot of focus, of course, on these games being televised as Riles will run it for a gain of a couple. Got back close to the original line of scrimmage. With all the attention that the high school football players got in the week or two leading up to this, you would have thought, well, would there be extra pressure on this game? One of the things that Matt Toblin said was that the pressure should never exceed the pleasure. In other words, enjoy it. There are high expectations. He wants to always have high expectations on his team, as David Penland does for his team. But one of the things that Toblin says is when you get to play in an environment where you are the showcase, that doesn't add anything onto what you need to do as a football player. Just go out there, and even though there are more people watching, that's a credit to the work you have done. That should not be any more added pressure. I don't think we've seen a lot of pressure decisions made in this game. Both teams seem to have settled in pretty well despite the TV cameras watching. And this one is thrown by Riles low and incomplete. It's going to bring up 4th down and 10 for UC.
And to that point, Cole, I think kind of like we were talking about earlier in the game, the hype surrounding the game, the build-up, the cameras being everywhere, it affects you early in the game. You get maybe a little bit of extra butterflies, a little extra jitters, and it can affect your play. Maybe the first drive or two, you get those first couple hits under your belt, and it's just a football game. You know, it's 10 yards for a first down, 100-yard field, blocking, tackling, catching, those kind of things. And you know, the hype's over once you get to game time.
And I've heard more than one Jaguars player say through the years that the first thing they want to do in a regular season, they want to go out there and pop somebody or get popped. Mm-hmm. They want to feel that, get it out of the way early. They don't want to go 2 or 3 minutes into the football game without some serious contact. They want to feel it so they feel like they're back into it. Now Fordham back to return this punt. Takes a high bounce. And it is touched by UC. And UC is going to try to return this one, saying that it hit a Bulls player. And the officials waving their arms to say otherwise. But UC has gone into the end zone. This one, it kind of checked up like a pitching wedge into the green. And there was a player nearby, but I don't know that if it hit a Bulls player or not. We'll have to check on replay. But for now, the officials' ruling is no, it will be down. And it will be Bulls football near about the 46-47 yard line.
Well, if it didn't hit a Bulls player, it was actually awfully close. And I heard people up here in the booth yelling, Peter, 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 that were obviously on the Bulls side. That means get away from that ball. Because if it touches you, it is a live ball. University Christian, here we're looking at the replay. It may have hit his foot. We don't have instant replay here.
It's not instant replay, but take another look here. See if you can from this angle. Yeah, it doesn't look like it hit him.
He got his foot out of there just in time, it looked like.
Looked like Indiana Jones going underneath the closing stone door. One more look at it here from this angle. We'll slow it down for you. And from that angle, it looked like it might have.
Deflected maybe by his foot.
Yeah.
But, the football's strange shape. It's oblong. That bounce could have been caused by one of the ends of the ball.
Yeah, that's the thing. You did see it change kind of direction and trajectory, but it is an oddly shaped ball. So regardless, there is no instant replay at use in the high school game. So
that could have been a very fortunate break for Bulls right there. And that would have been, again, as I mentioned a number of times tonight, special teams plays has been the Achilles heel of Bulls tonight. They've had a number of turnovers.
The ball hit a receiving team player on the foot. University can recover the ball. They cannot advance. It'll be first down, University Christian.
Well, that's a turnover right there.
There you go. Another one. Take another look if we can. Boy, tough to say.
It is difficult. There was one angle we looked at. Let's see if this is the one where it appears that the foot causes the ball to deflect. That's hard to tell.
Yeah, on that angle, you can't tell. There's nothing that really is determining. This angle looked like he got the foot away from it.
It sure does.
And the third angle, so you have a yes, you have a no, and then you have a maybe. So from here, that looked like, again, you can see the ball deflect. If I was making a ruling here, I would say I think that there's more evidence to say that it didn't hit his leg than that it did. But the ruling on the field is going to stand because there's no instant replay in high school football. So University Christian will take over and have the ball at the Bulldogs' 44-yard line.
And that's an aggregate 3 turnovers tonight, 2 of which have been on special teams. 1 on a fumbled punt return. Now a turnover on a punt return again due to touching the ball when you should not even be close to it. Get away from the ball once it hits the ground.
So they'll set up. They have not reset the chains. Riles back to pass, and he is dropped for a loss back near midfield.
Well, Bulls brought 8 right there. They only had 3 back in coverage. Not that University Christian had very many receivers down the field themselves, but that was they were coming all out.
And that was Hayden Schwartz who made the tackle, son of Brian Schwartz, former Jaguar linebacker. Let's head down to the sidelines and check in with Tara Logan.
Hey guys, not sure if you know this, but University Christian's head coach David Penland III has been around UC football since the age of 2 years old. Now, he's 35 years old and has won 3 state titles since being hired in 2011. Let's give you some perspective on that, just how well he's done. Consider this. Corky Rogers didn't win his 3rd state title until he was 51 in 1995. Trinity's Verlin Dormini got his 3rd championship in 2010 at 53 years old. And Swanee's Mike Pittman took his 3rd crown with the Bulldogs in 1989, just before he turned 35.
Talk about performing at a young age. David Penland, as we mentioned, and Tara alluding to it, he's a lifer at University Christian. And what a great program he has helped build at UC, and adding to the legacy that had already been built prior to him with 6 state titles before he took over as the head coach, and now 3 more since. 3rd down and 9 from the 50-yard line. Riles will set up a short one, dumps it off McClendon, and he cannot get away. Simon Bracken in there playing a linebacker role. The tight end makes the big play on defense.
Bracken's doing a nice job as a 2-way player tonight. That was just a middle screen where basically the offensive line's letting all the D-line kind of go right by, but Bracken sniffed it out. He wasn't fooled one bit.
So 4th down and call it 6 from the 47-yard line. And it looks like University Christian may go for it here.
Interesting call. They're being aggressive. They're not feeling necessarily overly threatened by Bolles' offensive prowess, is what they're saying by making this call.
Serio Riles from the shotgun. The freshman quarterback drops to throw. Going to throw it quick to the far side. And a sliding catch made by Marcus Molds, but it's going to be well short of the first down. I'm not sure why you run that route in that situation. But nonetheless, it'll be a turnover on downs. And after the punt, the Bulldogs basically get the ball where they would have.
Had they not turned it over.
Without the turnover.
Yeah, they just wasted a little bit of clock, but not a big deal. They're only one score behind. So no harm, no foul, but you still don't ever want to be down -3 in the turnover battle.
5:35 to play here in the third quarter. It looks like we're going to take a break for a hydration break here. Get a chance for the teams to get a little water in them. It's time for the Sonic hydration break for all cookie dough lovers. Just when you thought you couldn't get enough cookie dough, Sonic made the Big Scoop Cookie Dough Blast in Sunday. We'll be back to the action in just 2 minutes.
Life happens. Reality strikes. Priorities shift and you find yourself in a place you never dreamed. But then, opportunity emerges. A flame you thought was out reignites. Redefine your future. It's your turn. FSCJ.
If a car leaves the office at 5:46 p.m., picks up 2 different kids at 2 different locations, makes 1 U-turn because the second child forgot 1 item at the second location, passes 3 fast food joints looking for 1 meal that feeds 4 with 0 time to spare, what is the quickest way to get a quality family meal? The Publix Deli. With delicious, ready-to-enjoy meals, every option is the right answer. Now that's everyday easy. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
When you walk into a gate, you'll get more than you ever imagined. Like quick and hearty meal options, fresh and fast pick-me-ups, and friendly faces to serve you. Gate has everything you need to keep up with your busy life. Say cheers to 25 years with the Jaguars' 25th anniversary collectible cup filled with your favorite fountain drink for just $1.25. Gate, serving up more.
The Publix Bold City Showcase Drive of the Game is brought to you by your local Southern Chevy dealers.
Nominated deserving teacher to be recognized as the Sonic Drive-In Classroom of the Month. Winners will receive $250 in school supplies as well as Sonic slushes for the entire class. To nominate a teacher, go to the contest page on news4jax.com. Sponsored by Sonic Drive-In.
Life gets real. Time flies. You can lose who you are in the grind. But then opportunity knocks. Will you choose to answer this time? Rediscover what makes you tick. It's your turn. FSCJ.
Do you want important stories handpicked by your favorite morning show team emailed to you every morning? Sign up for the Morning Blend. Each morning, I'll pick a story that's important to you and your day. It's easy. Just go here and put your email here.
There is the biggest fan of the game and probably the smartest too. He brought his own circulation in watching University Christian hold a 13-7 lead over the Bulldogs. And Bulls right up the gut on the first down run into UC territory. And a little bit of pushing and shoving after the play as the tempers flared just a bit. Cam Neal getting tied up with
That's good for a Bulldog first down.
Jerome Manning there a bit. Bulldogs first down, and they'll have it at the 44-yard line of UC. The ground game has been the ticket so far for the Bulldogs. They've not had much success through the air. Ben Netting with a touchdown run, the quarterback with the only score of the game for the Bulldogs. University Christian with a couple of touchdowns and a missed extra point. And that's where we are here with as we near the 5-minute mark of the third quarter. Netting turns and gives it to Nunu Samuels right up the middle, and Samuels plows his way to the 35-yard line, running right into the heart of the UC defense.
Well, I think what I had mentioned earlier in the game, or earlier in this half, was that Bolles was going to take the philosophy of let's go down and pound them in this second half, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. I wouldn't mind seeing that Simon Bracken's making some nice plays there. Princeton commit, tight end. He's making some nice plays on defense. Let's see him get involved in the offensive passing game. Maybe pepper a pass in there to him.
By the way, for those who were longtime Bulls watchers, that looked like the old Bulls there. That was run of the trap play right up the middle.
Sure
a play
was.
that Corky Rogers ran, maybe about 1,000 times a year.
Very familiar on these grounds.
Yep. They'll hand it off now, and this is Frazier. Landon Frazier spinning his way inside the 35-yard line, has a first down. This is a bit of a more deliberate Bulls approach here. They're not as quick in and out of the huddle, but they're working the ball down the field on the ground game.
Sure, and this is just a way to wear a defense out. Eventually on these longer drives you start to see, and I remember, when we were at the Jaguars, hot nights, hot days is the kind of thing you want to do. Long, sustained drives, 8, 10 plus plays. Eventually you start to see those defensive linemen, especially with their hands on their knees, trying to suck for air, and that's when you know you kind of got them.
1st and 10 from the 34 for the Bulldogs of Bolles. Number 10 in our News 4 Jack Super 10 poll in the preseason. Trying to live up to that spot. And Frazier hit behind the line of scrimmage, will lose yardage.
That's kind of why I'm mentioning that you need to do something as far as downfield. They're just trying to run basically a trap play again. A lot of penetration here. They're loading the box. They don't really feel threatened by Bolles' passing game. So you got to do a little something to loosen them up. Maybe get your quarterback out of the box, see if you can get him to throw on the run. Netting's certainly athlete enough, so we just got to see if they can get something creative and getting the ball downfield.
Now they're behind the chains, 2nd down and 12. Netting still working from the shotgun. Again, remember, Bolles is playing without Davis Ellis, the wide receiver we highlighted at the top of the show, the transfer from Episcopal, who had over 1,000 yards receiving a year ago, but an apparent elbow injury has kept him out of the ball game for the last quarter and a half. And Samuel's running up the gut, pushed back after he gained 2, maybe 3, and things are certainly getting physical down there in the trenches.
University Christian's kind of playing a little bit of the bend but don't break defensive style right here. They're bringing some pressure up the middle. They're peppering some pressure on the edges in here and there, whatever they need to do, and they're letting up some running plays here and there, but at the right time. They've only let up 7 points here. At the right time, they're always figuring out how to tighten up.
Inside 2.5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. A little bit of a restless feeling around the Bulls stands right now. On 3rd down and 10. Netting from the shotgun, drops to pass. Looks right, throws deep, has a man open. This one is in and out of the hands. Chance Moore was wide open, and he just could not haul it in.
Well, Chance Moore is a big, tall wide receiver, and you couldn't get much more open than that. 6'5", 200 pounds, and Netting put the ball right on him. And this is exactly what I was saying. They're going to need to mix it up and go downfield. And he feels sick about that one.
By the way, I want to make the correction here. That's Jeremiah Johnson in at quarterback rather than Netting, and he put the ball right on the money, but Moore could not hold it in. Jeremiah Johnson's brother Josiah, you see, he thought that was a touchdown all the way. Jeremiah, a senior, his brother Josiah, former quarterback here at Bulls, now at UMass, led Bulls in 2017 as the quarterback, and now whistles blow and a flag flies, and it looks like a delay of game or a procedure call against the Bulldogs.
Penalty, 4th down.
So on 4th and 10, now becomes 4th and 15. So Matt Toblin making a change at quarterback here with Jeremiah Johnson getting some playing time. Last year he played in 5 games, was 7 of 8 passing for 126 yards. And
it's a little bit surprising to do that in the very first game of the year, but I think Coach Toblin just really looks at this like he needs to do something to stir this thing up and to get some momentum. The offense has really only had 1 sustained drive the entire game. Other than that, they've really just been kind of blah. And they needed a little something to get them going.
Here's Caden Fordham with the punt, a wobbly punt that comes to the near side, hits at the 20, takes a Bulls roll inside the 15, inside the 10, down to the 9, and it's touched up right there. So University Christian will have a 91-yard field in front of them with 1:55 to play. Let's head down to the sideline again and check in with Tara Loggeman. Tara?
I'm here with Tyler Hodges, Bulls head of school. Thanks so much for joining us, Tyler. How did it go today?
My pleasure. It's been amazing. I mean, this has been just a remarkable event. It's great for Bulls. It's great for Jacksonville. I mean, what a great way to start off the football season. And can't thank Alan Verlander and Airstream Productions enough. I mean, it's been remarkable having all these people here. It's just been such a great, and the weather cooperated. We had a little bit of clouds, no rain, so it's been wonderful. I do it every year.
Yeah, we just got the preliminary numbers in. There were over 21,000 people here today. Did you know that?
I did not, and that is remarkable, and I love it. And I want people to feel, we've got great facilities here, and I hate to see them not being used. And so, to host something like this and just have these other great fans and great teams, it's been really, really special.
So much of this year is focused on football safety as far as people coming into the game. So tell us, logistically, did you have to do anything different to get ready for this event?
Yes, a lot more security, a lot more just presence, parking. This is Bolles, and so we started at 6 this morning with crew practice, and then we ran the SAT.
Wow.
And then we ran a game at 1, and so I can't thank the team enough. People are just great, and people were really patient. I think that the fans were great. They were really, really patient. It was a hot day early on, and people just appreciate good football.
Absolutely. And speaking of the heat, I know that they put a lot of precautions in place. There were extra EMS staff on hand in case anybody in the stands needed help, and we have seen a few players today that were affected by the heat. Just talk to us a little bit about what the preps were for that.
Yeah, you never want to see a kid go down because of hydration or heat, and so I think every one of the teams was, that's a priority for them, and so they've been working with their players. And certainly at Bolles, we're talking about hydration and staying out of the sun as long as you possibly can. And then when you're out there, we've all got medical staff, trainers that are paying really close attention to them. So there's a whole host of people behind the scenes other than the players and the coaches that are keeping these kids safe.
Yeah, so we've had 21,000 people here today, even more watching on live TV. Bolles is in the spotlight. That's got to feel really good. Oh, we might have to move out of the way here.
Well,
all right, so just back to all the people watching at home and the spotlight being here on Bolles. That's got to feel good for you.
Yes, it does. I mean, we're proud of what we do, and we're going to work hard every day to get better. And these are opportunities that push us beyond our comfort zone sometimes. Having all those people here on campus, it's a big production, but it's great. We're really proud that we hosted it.
Thank you so much. Tyler Hodges, Bolles head of school. We'll send it back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, Kara. Well, as you were doing that interview, right behind you, Juwan Gray was going 85 yards on the catch and run on the dump off from DeCirio Riles. And what a big-time, game-changing play late in the third quarter. This is a newsmaker here for University Christian as Juwan Gray takes it 85 yards. And now it appears that UC will go for 2 to try to make it a 14-point game. McClendon bringing the play in. Riles now may have to call a timeout. They were not expecting to be in that situation that quickly as Gray went 85 yards for the score. And it's now a 19-7 game. Take another look here, Kyle, at this ball. Well thrown by Riles, and then the stiff arm, and Gray was gone.
Nothing particularly fancy. Juwan Gray just ran a basic curl route. They were probably hoping for a 10 to 12-yard gain. He went ahead and made a man miss, and short pass, long run. He had some speed. No one was going to catch him. 85 yards for the touchdown. Just changed this game significantly.
And that is a big-time play. By the way, we have some breaking news from the National Football League we want to share with you. We're seeing reports now that Colts quarterback Andrew Luck has met with Colts owner Jim Irsay, and he's going to retire. Talk about a change in the AFC South in the National Football League. Just a week and a half, 2 weeks away from the start of the season. After that, we'll have more on that here in just a moment. We should let you know that University Christian is in the Publix Greenwise zone. Greenwise products designed specifically for shoppers who pay extra attention to how items are grown, raised, and processed. And they'll go for 2. And Riles gives it. Arthur Walker walks it in for 2. So it is a 14-point University Christian lead with 11 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Major play, a turning point play in this ball game, Kyle Brady.
The 85-yard pass certainly was, and I'm still a little bit in shock also about Andrew Luck. I mean, we got a couple things going on here. Big-time changes in this football game with University Christian now having a 2-score lead when they were very much backed up in their own territory. And big-time news coming out of the NFL with the possible retirement of Andrew Luck, as you mentioned. going to shake up the AFC South landscape.
We're here and talking about high school football, but can't ignore this story at all. It's a big one for one of the teams, certainly within the Jaguars division. Of course, he's had some issues in the past with injuries in the neck and some issues with the arm as a result. But what a major change in the AFC South. All of a sudden, some people were picking the Colts to win the division this year. You certainly can't do that if Andrew Luck's not your quarterback.
I wouldn't think so, and I'm certainly looking forward to, if this is in fact the case that he's retiring, to finding out what it is was the reason. And as you mentioned, Cole, some injuries going on the last couple of years, and we don't know maybe how extensive those injuries were and how much pain they may have been causing. Usually when a guy decides to retire this early in the season, it's usually because he just sees that those injuries that have been giving so much pain and anguish the last few years really haven't resolved themselves, and he's just downright tired of it.
Just a huge bombshell of news from the National Football League today. As we have just over 12 minutes of football remaining here, and the kickoff fielded and bobbled short by Bolles, and it's going to be a loss of on the return on a short ball that Tyson Riley was handling, and he'll take the ball to the 24-yard line with 8 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And the Bulldogs have some work to do now. Boy, it really seemed like Bolles had started to grab the momentum. They were working their way downfield, but stalled out, as you see. Took advantage of a drop pass that would have been a touchdown on the other end. And the next thing you know, they're going 85 yards the other way.
They just really have not been able to seem to get in gear. I mean, their special teams play, to be quite honest, has been atrocious. They just lost out on a huge momentum shift with the dropped touchdown pass, and then to give up an 85-yard score defensively is really just, I think, taking some wind out of their sails. So, but there's by no means not enough time, and there's still plenty of time to get back in this game. They just got to get in gear.
The fourth quarter is straight ahead. University Christian with a 2-touchdown lead on the Bulldogs. 21-7. Christian's leading Bolles. Fourth quarter and final quarter of the Publix Bold City Showcase is coming up next from Skinner Barco Stadium on the Bold School campus and right here on Channel 4.
If a car leaves the office at 5:46 p.m., picks up 2 different kids at 2 different locations, makes 1 U-turn because the second child forgot 1 item at the second location, passes 3 fast food joints looking for 1 meal that feeds 4 with 0 time to spare, what is the quickest way to get a quality family meal? The Publix Deli. With delicious, ready-to-enjoy meals, every option is the right answer. Now that's everyday easy. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
I switched from Dodge.
We switched from Ford.
I switched from Ram. I switched to Chevy.
We switched to Chevy. We switched to Chevy.
For dependability.
For these guys.
And just look at it.
We switched to Chevy.
See for yourself why people are switching at the Chevy All-Star Open House. Get 20% below MSRP on all 2019 Silverado double cab pickups. That's over $97.50 on this Silverado.
See your Southern Chevy dealers.
JOI has been wonderful for me. Going back to my playing days, they kept me on the field as a player. And since I have moved on to the next phase of my life, they have helped me lead a very active lifestyle. I got to go. And JOI, without them, I wouldn't be where I am. I mean, my left shoulder is money because of JOI. I'm going to go where the best is, and me, I'm going to JOI.
JOI, where the pros go.
The I-Team on News4JAX, uncovering, exposing, getting results.
When you see another senseless shooting, when your neighborhood is threatened, when you're scared for your family, there's only one news team you can count on, who care enough to get you answers, push to get results when the others give up. Report important new information first on every device. When you want a news team who understands why local is what matters most, watch News4JAX every night starting at 5, the local station.
On one of the biggest days of high school football in the history of Jacksonville, we have 12 more minutes remaining. UC with a 21-7 lead thanks to this. The Southern Chevy dealers drive of the game, 4 plays, 91 yards, and 85 of it by Juwan Gray on this touchdown run to give UC the lead. They're up by 2 scores as we start the fourth quarter. Bolles will have the football and facing a 2nd down and 10 situation with Jeremiah Johnson subbed in at quarterback. There had been a bit of a quarterback competition in the preseason. New coach, new season, and Johnson getting his chance here after Ben Netting got the start. And it's Samuels on the run, cutting it back between the hash marks, and a late penalty flag down as Samuels got close to a 1st down. Now another flag is in. Things might be getting a little chippy here late in the ball game.
It can sometimes happen. Both teams a little bit worn out, tired of banging into each other, getting a little emotional.
Well, this has been a huge day of high school football in Jacksonville. Of course, every Friday is a big day of high school football in Jacksonville. Football Fridays on 4. All the game-changing moments, the hits, the highlights every Friday night at 10:30 on News 4 Jax.
After the play was over, we have unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense, number 55. Unsportsmanlike conduct on number 3 on the defense. Those penalties will offset 3rd down.
So the old hand slap offsetting personal foul penalties. And it is as if it never happened.
I tell you, if Bolles wants to get something going and get back in this game, I think this is the time. 11, almost 12 minutes left, but they need a momentum boost big time. I mean, they just seem like they're flat. They're not able to get anything going. Really not being able to get in gear other than one drive tonight, and I know they're not happy with how the performance is going so far this game.
The first game as head coach of the Bulldogs for Matt Toblin after 5 years and 4 playoff trips at Ponte Vedra, and taking on a guy who has certainly earned his stripes as a head coach, David Penland. It is not an easy matchup to start the season, and they'll run it on 3rd down and 2. And depending on the spot, this is going to be about 4th down and a long yard for the Bulldogs.
University Christian just seems to have a greater level of energy right now across the front 7.
Jeremiah Johnson going to go for it on 4th down. They crowd up the backfield. Johnson from the shotgun, trying to draw UC off sides. It doesn't happen. So now, timeout for Bolles. Bulldogs call timeout with 10:41 remaining.
I wouldn't have expected them to have gone for it at this point in the game. That much time left on their own 32-yard line.
Providing compassionate care at 5 convenient offices.
This timeout brought to you by Baptist Health, where you can now check ER wait times or book an urgent care appointment online anytime. Find out more at BaptistCareNow.com. And be sure to tune in Monday nights at 7 on CW17 for the Mark Brunell Show. The quarterback, Eden Kendall, and myself, live at Sneakers, Jacksonville Beach, every Monday night at 7. Now, we had you out a couple of years ago for the show.
Two good-looking fellows right there. I'm expecting an invite back this year.
We'll get you back out there for sure.
That sounds like a good time. Down at Sneakers at the beach, right?
It is indeed.
I live out that way, so maybe I'll just ride my bike down.
There we go. Going to make us look like lazy slobs when you do that, but
I'll be the slob. I'll be sweating. Well, invite me in December, then I won't be sweating.
There we go. Deal. You have a holiday invitation waiting for you.
I appreciate that.
10:41 remaining in this one. 4th down and let's call it 2 for the Bulldogs. Direct step back to Fordham, who breaks one tackle, has a 1st down. Boy, when they needed a big play, they turned to Caden Fordham. He has been the biggest playmaker for the Bulldogs in this ballgame.
I tell you, he did a heck of a job because he could have been tied up right here in the backfield. Look at that. He eluded a couple tacklers before getting to the 1st down marker. That was just a great effort by Caden Fordham.
And we've talked about the evolution of the identity of Bolles on offense, and Fordham playing a role that we don't often see for the Bulldogs. You don't usually see a guy who is a receiver and a punter and a
he's doing a little everything.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct on the University Christian sideline. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run, 1st down.
Wow.
Well, that's about as big a play as Bolles has had all night.
Yep, that will make things change in a hurry. Not sure exactly what it was, but called on the sidelines there. So somebody may be running stairs coming up shortly.
So. May even be a coach.
So first down for the Bulldogs from the University Christian 44-yard line, and David Penland has to think, don't let them back in this thing with mistakes
right
on
now,
our side.
You've got them down, and you know that you've got the momentum. You let up a score right here, they're right back in it, and they certainly could capture some momentum, and they really need it.
First and 10 from the 44. Jeremiah Johnson at quarterback takes the snap. He'll give it off. Frazier running behind right guard, finds some room inside the 40, then pushed back, and another penalty marker thrown in.
It's starting to get a little sloppy now. See what this call is.
Damian Parrish was leading the charge on the tackle for UC.
Holding, offense, number 5-0, number 50. 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
Well, that's the youngster freshman Cooper Fordham. He's a big old boy and young man. Not sure if I can see the hold.
Now the Fordhams have played a big role here and will for the Bulldogs this year. Cooper is a freshman starting on the offensive line. Of course, we talked about Caden doing a little bit of everything for the Bulldogs. Johnson will hand it off. This is Frazier spinning his way back near the original line of scrimmage, gets the penalty yardage back and then some. And another penalty marker thrown right at the end.
I was just going to say Bolles' offense is not necessarily the type to overcome 1st and 20, but then they rip off a 12-yard run and another hanky on the ground, and let's see who this is on.
We got second down. We'll
get the word from Mike Hayden here in just a moment with 9:35 to play. The clock is running here as they try to sort things out. They should stop that clock, and they do so. Calling for the stoppage. There we go.
It must be someone from University Christian got up there and started controlling the clock.
To what?
We got some administrative duties to take care of here. David Penland would like to know the results, so would Matt Toblin.
University Christian, that's a sideline warning, no yardage. Please reset the game clock to 9:40.
Some shenanigans coming from that University Christian sideline last couple calls.
Something's been going on over there.
Coach Penland's got to get it under control.
Now the Bulldogs, you would think if they are going to come back in this ball game, would have to find the end zone on this drive.
I would think so. It certainly is beginning to get pressing.
By the way,
sense of urgency.
Just going to update the latest on the Andrew Luck situation. Apparently a press conference coming tomorrow from Andrew Luck to explain things. So now Netting back in there at quarterback, drops the pass, dumps it off. It's caught by Frazier. Frazier has some room looking for a block, splits the defenders inside the 10 and down inside the 5. Landon Frazier on the screen pass takes it down inside the 5.
Well, a very nicely designed play, and I mentioned it earlier. I'd like to see a little more balance out of the Bolles offense here. Take a look at the replay. This is just a little dump-off pass, not the first read. Frazier just does a really nice job getting north and south, using some speed. That's exactly the kind of play Bolles needed to try to get back in this game. UC brought some pressure up the middle right there, left them a little bit susceptible on the edges, and that's where Bolles was able to get the ball.
Bolles into the Publix Greenwise zone. And Fordham in there in a Wildcat formation. He'll take it, running right, turns it upfield, and is into the end zone. Touchdown, Caden Fordham on a 4-yard run. And as we mentioned, a big score for the Bulldogs as they try to come back. It's now 21-13 with the extra point ensuing.
Well, that was just a great effort by Caden Fordham. I mean, you can just see the effort coming out of him right here. He's just willing himself into the end zone. Again, he ran right behind his little brother, not necessarily littler physically, Cooper Fordham.
His big little brother.
That's right, and the Fordham boys are having a big impact on this game, maybe even getting the Bolles team back in it.
So here's Parsa Pordelli to attempt the extra point. This would make it a touchdown ball game. Snap is back, kick is up, and it is good, and a penalty marker thrown as well. This has become a hanky convention here in the second half.
Sure has. I was mentioning in the first half it wasn't very sloppy, but it's getting so this way. I should also mention Reed Collins on the right-hand side of that Bolles offensive line. Big old boy. Spoke to his dad.
Foul hurdling against the defense. Extra point. It's good. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
So 8:55 remaining in the ball game. It's a 21-14 game. UC with the lead, but it's down to 7 as Caden Fordham punches it in for the Bulldogs from the Wildcat formation, or is it the Wild Dog formation?
Yeah, in
here
this
at
case,
Bolles.
it would be the Wild Dog. Yeah, cats and dogs, polar opposites. Can't be a wild cat when you got the Bulldogs out there.
You a cat person or a dog person, Kyle Brady?
You know, I've always been a dog person most of my life. Now all of a sudden we find ourselves with a dog and a cat.
You got one of each. Does the cat act like a dog?
Somewhat.
Okay.
She actually kind of gets along well with all the dogs in the neighborhood.
All right.
So that's a little bit dog-like.
Okay. I grew up with both, and just a dog guy now.
What kind of dog you got?
I have a Dachshund.
Ah, hot dog.
Yep, yeah. And we also have a French Bulldog.
Two of them.
They're small of stature and big of opinion on themselves.
Yes, that's for sure. A little yappy.
Not too yappy, but they're both pretty sure they're sturdy. I can tell you that.
Confident. Yeah, we've got a Labradoodle.
There you go.
Mookie, named after the center fielder for the Boston Red Sox.
Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts.
Okay.
One of the best ball players in the MLB.
Thought you were going to go Mookie Wilson maybe and take a throwback.
Well, you know, my mom and dad grew up in Queens. I guess I would consider them my favorite National League team, the Mets. But I certainly wasn't happy in 1986.
After the personal foul call, the ball moved up to the 45-yard line. So we'll see if the Bulldogs do anything different here than just kick it into the end zone with 8:55 to play. Formation doesn't look anything other than just booting it away, but let's see what Bordelli does. He is going to go for the onside kick. He's waiting for it to go 10 yards, and it never made it. It never made it. It made it about 7.5 yards. Bordelli had lined that up and just didn't get enough of it.
That was set up really well for that onside kick as well. So had he been able to get it, as you mentioned, 10 yards, Cole, that's a free ball for the kicking team. It didn't quite get to 10. You see there's no University Christian players anywhere to be seen. If that thing would have dribbled a little faster, that would have been a recovery by the Bulls team.
Instead, UC will take over on their own 37-yard line. And we'll see how the Bulldogs defense responds here.
Again, Bolles having struggling on special teams. I mean, that was a gutsy play, but they want to be able to pull that off.
Asirio Riles is in there at center, or at the quarterback rather, and hit in the backfield. The freshman gang tackled by the Bulldogs.
You can actually sense that Bolles got some energy from that score and the fact that they're only one score behind.
And now another penalty marker coming in at the end of the play. And if this one's on Bolles, as it looks like it may be, that is going to drive Matthew Toblin absolutely bonkers. After a big play, to see a play like that in a one-score game.
I'm sure both coaches are being driven.
Foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 1 on the defense. 15-yard penalty out of the end of the run. First down.
And that, once again, the guy who has been in the middle of most of the activity today for Bolles, Caden Fordham.
Yeah, I'm sure that's driving both these coaches bonkers. The amount of
take a look here.
Flags have been on the ground.
Yeah, after the play, you see Fordham kind of rode Riles down to the ground.
It's hard to tell when the whistles came in. If the whistles were already being blown, then obviously they're going to have to call that, but it wasn't overly rough.
1st and 10 from the Bulls' 49-yard line. Handed off. Molds running to the left, trying to get to the edge, and he is knocked down, got back up, didn't go down initially to the knees. So now another penalty marker at the end. Boy, this is an absolute lack of control right now by both of these teams at the end of plays. They just cannot end a play cleanly.
This one, I think, is going to be on University Christian. I saw a little bit extracurricular after the tackle was finally made by one of the UC players coming over and giving an extra smack to a Bolles defender, but we'll see.
They'll sort things out. Mike Hayden's going to give us the word on it now. Might have him going both ways here from the looks of things.
Sure might be.
Well, you're kind of hearing what we're hearing here.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. Those penalties were offset, second down.
That'd be frustrating as an officiating crew when you're trying to keep things clean and you got to go in both ways here. And take another look here at the end as Molds was running here. Didn't go down initially. And then watch the gold cleats. Yeah, a little kick toward Fordham there.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were going to call initially, just on University Christian. But some point thereafter, there must have been some Bulls players that got a little bit chippy.
Within that replay, we didn't see anything that would have indicated the Bulldogs would have needed a flag, but got one nonetheless with 8:08 to play here in the ball game. 21-14 UC leading the Bulldogs. The Kelly Clarkson Show premieres Monday, September the 9th at 2 p.m. right here on Channel 4. Know that there'd always been a Kelly Clarkson Show, just hasn't always been on TV, Kyle Brady, but now it will be right here on Channel 4.
Yeah. Former
American
Idol winner, right? That was in the early days of American Idol.
I believe it was the first one.
Wasn't it? Yeah. My wife's really into that show.
If I remember right, I think she beat Justin Guarini.
Wow, you got
back
a good
in the
memory.
first year.
What year was that?
Yeah, Justin Barney, our sports editor, was devastated when the voting came out. He was a big. He always backs guys named Justin.
That's true.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he's always been huge. He was at the opening night from what was it called, Justin? From Kelly to Justin. Yep. Yeah, Justin Barney is a champion of all Justins all across the country.
It would only be Justin. He'd
He's a
be
big Justin Verlander fan. Yep.
Justin Bieber.
Yep, Justin Bieber. Likes them all. Hand off McClendon, and he is stopped up shy of the line of scrimmage.
The Bulls need to stop here, and they need to go down and score again because next score is only going to tie it up.
So third
what
and
do the Bulls
11.
in high school remind me about if it ends in a tie?
Don't even say that, Kyle Brady.
No.
We'll
deal with that when it comes.
There is an overtime setup. We'll go to an overtime period. And then in the regular season, I think they go to the old Kansas tiebreaker. Third down and 11. Riles setting up the screen, throwing short, and it is snuffed out. McClendon is spun down on the play. It was snuffed out by Justin Cayenne, who makes the tackle, and that will bring the punting team on, you would think, for UC. Here with 7:13 to play in the ball game, and the Christians holding on to a 7-point lead.
Justin Cayenne, good-looking young defensive lineman.
Another
6'3", 220-pounder.
Another Justin, by the way.
Another Justin.
Yeah.
We got him all over the place.
Justin Barney gives the thumbs up for him.
Made a very nice play right there. As I mentioned, I was speaking to his father before the game. Can see where Justin gets his size.
So here is Jerome Manning to punt it away for University Christian. And that is the guy who has been right in the center of all the activity for the Bulldogs. Caden Fordham backing up inside his own 10-yard line. They are going to wait for the punt, and here it comes. High and hanging. And they're going to let this one bounce, and it'll be touched up at the 11-yard line. So the Bulldogs have 89 yards in front of them with 6:23 remaining. And will look to mount a drive here to try to tie the ball game up. Bulls has not led in this ball game. University Christian took a 7-0 lead. The Bulldogs tied it up at 7. And with 6:23 remaining, we're getting close to a hydration break, so one more timeout there. The Bulldogs have 2 timeouts remaining. University Christian has 1. So it's getting down to crunch time here, Kyle Brady.
It certainly is. We got about 6.5 minutes or so left, and as we mentioned, Bulls is they're in desperate need here of a score if they're going to expect to start off their season with a win.
We've seen 2 quarterbacks play back there for the Bulldogs here. This is Netting back in there once again on this drive after he led them to a touchdown drive the last time out. Helped by a big catch and run by Landon Frazier. Netting to throw. Pressure comes. Tries to get away, and down he goes. The Bulldogs have just not been able to give either quarterback much time to throw the football against this University Christian pass rush.
Oh, we can take a look at it right here. And nothing too special. Look, pressure right up the middle. Blocking just has to hold up for longer. He has to be able to get his eyes downfield. Here he's trying to get his eyes downfield, but he really doesn't have any time. He actually had a receiver open on the outside on a quick little hitch route, but he couldn't even get his eyes down or much less step into the throw.
With the clock stopped at 6:01 remaining in the fourth quarter, it's time for a Sonic hydration break. Fill up on Sonic's Car Hop Classic for just $2.99. We'll be back to the action in the fourth quarter at the Publix Bold City Showcase right after this.
The Publix Bold City Showcase Drive of the Game is brought to you by your local Southern Chevy dealers.
I switched from Dodge.
We switched from Ford.
I switched from Ram. I switched to Chevy.
We switched to Chevy. We switched to Chevy.
For dependability.
For technology.
For the muscle.
And just look at it.
Adios, Lexus.
Bye-bye, Ford.
We switched to Chevy.
And I couldn't be happier.
See for yourself why people are switching at the Chevy All-Star Open House.
Or add another Chevy to your driveway. Current GM owners can get over $5,500 below MSRP on this Equinox. See your Southern Chevy dealers.
If you've been injured, you will need a law firm who will think about you and fight for you like family. Not like you're a number or a file, but a person. That's what we do. Call us, Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
When you walk into a game, you'll get more than you ever imagined. Like quick and hearty meal options, fresh and fast pick-me-ups, and friendly faces to serve you. Gate has everything you need to keep up with your busy life. Say cheers to 25 years with the Jaguars' 25th anniversary collectible cup filled with your favorite fountain drink for just $1.25. Gate, serving up more.
If a car leaves the office at 5:46 p.m., picks up two different kids at two different locations, makes one U-turn because the second child forgot one item at the second location, passes 3 fast food joints looking for one meal that feeds 4 with 0 time to spare, what is the quickest way to get a quality family meal? The Publix Deli. With delicious, ready-to-enjoy meals, every option is the right answer. Now that's everyday easy. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Nominated deserving teacher to be recognized as the Sonic Drive-In Classroom of the Month. Winners will receive $250 in school supplies as well as Sonic slushes for the entire class. To nominate a teacher, go to the contest page on news4jax.com. Sponsored by Sonic Drive-In.
6:01 remaining in the ball game. UC with a 21-14 lead. Our Gemstone Media crew doing a great job bringing you the Publix Bold City Classic here on Channel 4. Tip of the hat to our entire crew who have braved the heat and the long day and have done a great job. And now it'll be a running play by Netting, showing the legs again. He had a touchdown run earlier in the game. This time he's off and moving into UC territory inside the 40-yard line. It has been the legs of Ben Netting that have been the biggest difference maker for the quarterbacks for Bulls.
I'm sure that feels very good for Ben Netting. He had a nice touchdown earlier. We're going to take a look at the replay right here. Just faking the outside throw. Got some big old boys lead blocking for him. Nice cut right here, though. And great effort. Good speed.
And did I see a little hint of trap there again with one of the offensive linemen crashing down?
Sure was. Like Netting he's got some wheels. He can motor once he gets out there in the open field. And I'm sure that feels good for him because he's had some passes knocked down, some, he got sacked before, so he's feeling good about himself right there after that run.
So now it's Johnson who's in there after Netting's long run, maybe just giving Netting a breather. We're not really sure. We'll see if we can get some more information there, but Johnson back in at quarterback now on 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. And the penalty flag flies for delay of game.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's one of the risks when you're shuffling quarterbacks in and out. It takes a little longer to get the play in, get everybody set.
Well, and that's always typically on the coaches. I know, I'm sure Coach Toblin realizes that you've got to get your personnel and your play in as soon as possible because, otherwise you're going to lose 5 yards.
So 1st and 15 now from the 40-yard line for the Bulldogs. You got to remember, this is a Bulls team playing without Davis Ellis. As Expecting to be one of their top receivers, if not their top receiver. Run up the middle, gains 6 yards with Landon Frazier, the sophomore. Has certainly flashed today in the running game for the Bulldogs.
He sure has. He's probably been their most prolific runner. Really, his yards per carry average has got to be over 6. And really what UC's been doing most of the game, though, is kind of that bend but don't break philosophy. They're letting up some plays here and there, allowing Bolles to get down in the red zone, but typically this is where they've been tightening up.
2nd and 9. Johnson going to keep it this time himself, and wrapped up just a couple of yards downfield, and lost his footing. Some of the Bulls fans expecting to see a penalty marker thrown. We've seen plenty of them in this ball game.
He actually got smacked pretty hard there when he got up into the line of scrimmage, but he popped back up. Seems like a tough kid.
Now he's off, and Ben Netting is back on. So the quarterback shuffle continues for Matt Toblin's Bulls Bulldogs.
Big play here. I would think this might be 4-down territory. 3rd and 7, and they need to get their first down pretty desperately.
If they don't score here, the chances of getting the ball back with any significant amount of time would be pretty minimal. The score here really changes the contour of the game. Netting on the drop. Pressure comes, and once again the pass rush for University Christian makes it home. Dwayne Wakefield was there, and Arthur Walker going to be credited with the sack. Once again, pass protection has been a problem for the Bulldogs.
I mean, Arthur Walker just came right up the middle here, and clearly there was either a blown assignment. Someone needs to pick him up. I mean, he's not coming from the edges. He's coming from right up the middle, and that's a fast route to the quarterback, and he made it there quick.
So the punting team on for the Bulldogs. Caden Fordham will try to pin UC deep here. Now they're going to have to play some defense with the Bulldogs. This one dropped and covered up. Ooh, for a moment, the Bulldogs almost had a chance, but Juwan Gray, who had that big catch and run for the touchdown at the end of the 3rd quarter, able to recapture.
That's exactly the kind of play the Bulls could have really benefited from. It's the kind of play they've unfortunately given up themselves. They've got 3 turnovers and 2 of them on special teams. Here, the fumble, they just couldn't capitalize.
Looks like he might have taken a peek at the coverage coming down at him right at the last second. All right, so 1st and 10 from the 6-yard line with 3:32 remaining. Again, the Bulldogs have 2 timeouts remaining, but they're going to have to make a stop here, and then see how much time they'll have remaining. Maybe a mild upset in the first game, certainly from our News 4 Jack Super 10 rankings, with Bartram Trail, the way they won maybe against Lee as much as anything, maybe a mild upset. A closer than expected game perhaps between Mandarin and Atlantic Coast, and then this game with, again, Bulls, a slightly larger classification school and a ranked team ahead of a UC team that received votes in our poll. So it's been a very competitive day of high school football here on the Publix Bold City Showcase.
It sure has, yeah. I mean, first game extremely competitive. First half of the second game was extremely competitive. A little surprising even. Maybe that Mandarin didn't pull away. Well, they did end up pulling away in the second half. But in this game, yeah, I think most people would have probably bet on Bolles being the victor here. And so far, it's not looking like it that way. But we do have some time left.
On 2nd down, they'll hand it off. And Arthur Fats Walker running up the middle. And right into the teeth of the Bulldogs defense. And Bolles will call timeout here with 2:40 to play. So Bolles able to save one of their timeouts here potentially. Maybe do it for, call it after the 3rd down play potentially, with Bolles calling the timeout with 2:40 remaining. Reminder, this timeout is brought to you by Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute, providing compassionate care at 5 convenient offices and 12 rehab facilities throughout the city. Find out more at joionline.net. Of course, we talked about the football tradition at Bolles, but there's some pretty good baseball tradition at Bolles as well, including the Hall of Famer Chipper Jones, 19 seasons with the Atlanta Braves, #1 overall pick of the draft, won the World Series with the Braves in 1995, and in 2018, Chipper inducted into Cooperstown. I've always brought this up, Kyle Brady. You start talking about the best football, baseball, and basketball player to come out of a high school. I'm not sure you could do any better than take your pick of the Bulls football players. Let's say Des White for the sake of argument. Chipper Jones, and then D. Brown, the slam dunk champion, all going to Bulls. That's a pretty good...
Heck of a trifecta, right?
Trifecta, yeah, for sure.
It really is. Yeah, Chipper Jones, I mean, not only a great baseball player, but apparently a very class individual, having a chance to meet him, but that's always what I've heard from circles, athletic circles. And, yeah, so they're producing not only great athletes, but good people.
3rd and 8 from the 9-yard line. Riles to throw, put some air under it. It's caught on the near side by Juwan Gray, out of bounds with a first down. And that is a big dagger in the side of the Bulls Bulldogs here with 2:39 to play. Bulls with only 1 timeout remaining. And it is looking more and more like University Christian is going to come in and get the victory and spoil Matt Toblin's debut as the Bulldogs head coach.
Well, I'm not sure where that play was all night long, but Juwan Gray just ran a really nice comeback route, about 12 yards deep down the sideline, and freshman quarterback Desurio Riles just put it out there right on him. Very good timing. Actually put the ball in the air before he came out of the cut. So that looked good. I think that's got to be encouraging on film as a coaching staff. You see that, you might want to do it a little more.
You would expect UC to keep the ball on the ground here and get the clock running with 2:39 to play, and the clock stopped after the first down out of bounds. They will hand it off, and this is Fats Walker leaning his way forward past the 25 to the 27-yard line. Gain of 4 on first down. And timeout called.
We've seen Fats Walker do that before, where he runs into a pile of humanity and he goes ahead and moves that pile. Strong young man.
The last timeout of the ball game called by the Bulldogs with 2:31 to play. This timeout brought to you by Baptist Health. Honored to be considered the most preferred healthcare provider in Jacksonville. Find out more at BaptistJax.com. All right, Matthew Toblin is going to have to pull a rabbit out of a hat here if he's going to get a victory in his first game as head coach of the Bulldogs. University Christian has just made fewer mistakes in this ballgame, Kyle Brady. I think that's what it boils down to, whether you're talking about a dropped pass or a special teams mistake or a turnover or a penalty. It has been just too many of them for the Bulldogs to overcome.
It really has, and that's not really been the signature of their program for the last several decades. And I know I'm sure that they're going to work to clean that up. But as I mentioned at halftime, turnovers tend to be the most important statistic at many levels of football. But certainly in high school, it is just as important. 3 turnovers for the Bolles Bulldogs. None, I don't believe, for University Christian.
Riles rolls and going to dump it off short, and he throws it over the head of his intended target, Fats Walker. And incomplete.
It's the nature of the turnovers and where they occurred that also hurt Bolles as badly as it did. I mean, the very first offensive drive of the game, they get the essentially what amounted to sort of like a strip sack that University Christian recovered deep into Bolles territory. And then we had the other special teams play, a couple special teams plays, turnovers that were also really critical in the game.
I don't think you probably couldn't call the ball off the leg really a forced turnover. It's kind of a wrong place at the wrong time situation. And again, looking at replay, you could take your pick of whether it was the right call or not.
That's true. I mean, it essentially kind of amounts to a turnover.
Yep.
At the end of the day.
Little pitch play out wide. Again, this is Walker rolling his way up the far hash mark near the first down marker. Bolles cannot stop the clock here with 2:18 remaining, as you see Mac Marone with that left arm all wrapped up, hanging in there trying to make a play.
Well, I would imagine that University Christian is going to punt here. It would be somewhat foolish not to if they didn't make it and give Bolles this short a field, but they do go ahead and punt here, and Bolles has their work cut out for them. Limited amount of time and long way to go.
They can also let this clock run down, take a penalty, run a little more time off the clock. And they may do that. Doesn't look like UC is in any rush to get this ball snapped back to Jerome Manning for the punt. Manning throwing his glove over to the sideline. You don't see a lot of punters shaped like that. University Christian calls their last timeout. So with 1:32 remaining, Bulldogs will get the ball back with some amount of time remaining. David Penland, we're at the University Christian sideline. His team last year lost to North Florida Christian in the regional finals. And last year in the opener, University Christian lost 47-7 to this Bulls team at UC. That was a surprising score.
It's going to be a very satisfying win if they can pull it out here.
Yeah.
I'll be a little surprised, actually, if they punt the ball downfield to Caden Fordham, as well as he's been returning the ball against them. Now, they did obviously get him to fumble, but at the same time, he's been one of the more dynamic players for Bolles this evening in regards to his production. You know, maybe they'll try to dribble this one downfield and make it an unreturnable punt.
The morning show on Channel 4 gets things started early on, 4:30 every morning. Here's the punt, and again it checks up. And the Bulldogs still just kind of stand around looking at it. I'm surprised after the earlier play that guys are not scattering like it's a...
Get away from it like it's a landmine.
Exactly.
You got to act like that thing's about to explode. You don't want to be anywhere close to it, especially with the uncertainty of the way the football's going to bounce.
So a minute 32 remaining in the ball game. Bulls has a chance, down by 7. Now the big question, who will be at quarterback for the Bulldogs? We've seen both Ben Netting and Jeremiah Johnson at quarterback. It's going to be Netting who will come out at least for this snap.
Yeah, they've been doing a little bit of the quarterback by committee. Netting in there one snap and Johnson in there another. Netting had a heck of a run last series, but they weren't able to capitalize by finishing up with a score.
The start of their own 47-yard line. Netting fakes the handoff, has some time, throwing deep, looking downfield over the shoulder. It is incomplete. Tried to drop it into Cade Frew, and a little inside-outside shoulder action there. Frew could not haul it in.
Cade Frew was wanting a penalty, but I really think it was a catchable ball, actually. It was a good throw. We can maybe take a look at the replay on it, but it appeared to be a catchable ball over his shoulder and hit his hands.
Take a look here. Was this a situation where he's looking inside shoulder and it winds up outside shoulder? Maybe just a bit, but yeah, I think he was there.
That's about where you want to put the ball as a quarterback, sort of right on that outside arm of the receiver as he's streaking downfield. He kind of was going to the ground as he was trying to haul it in, but he was wanting a penalty. I didn't really see any kind of holding out there.
Netting again on second down, has time. He'll throw long again, and he overthrows everybody this time as Fordham was streaking down the field, but Netting put too much under it. Minute 17 to go now. Third down for the Bulldogs.
The difficulty with no timeouts is you go ahead and start running the ball, and obviously the clock's just going to start ticking down, and they're not necessarily a team that's built to play from behind without too many weapons here or too much of a passing game. Not a very well developed passing game at this point.
Well, and again, remember, they're without Davis Ellis, who they expect to be a big play receiver with the arm injury.
Yeah, the most prolific potential receiver anyway has been on the sideline the majority of the evening.
Netting, quick throw out to the near side. This one is caught by Frew, but he was hit immediately. And down he goes. A loss on the play, and with a minute 8 to go, the clock will continue to run, and the Bulldogs may be down to their final snap on offense as we go inside a minute to play.
Yeah, 4th and about 12 or so, and see what they can pull out of the hat.
This would be a good win for University Christian to be sure to start the season, not only winning against Bolles, but winning at Bolles after they lost at home, as we mentioned, by 40 in the opener last year. Netting on 4th down. Pressure comes again. He's going to look to throw, put some air under it, and this one is knocked away, incomplete. 4th down, ball goes over on downs to University Christian, and David Penland's team is going to win the opener on the road here at Bolles to cap the Publix Bold City Showcase. All that is left is for maybe one, maybe two knees to be taken by the Christians, and UC is going to come away with a victory.
That's just an impressive win by David Penland and his staff and the University Christian ball players. They come in here to Bolles, as you mentioned, after a really thumping, bottom line, last year at their own place, 47-7, and not obviously the way Coach Matt Tobin will want to start his tenure here at Bolles, but I'm sure he's got plenty of time left and going to do as much as he can, give all the energy he can, as we know, to making this kind of team, putting his fingerprint on this team, making it the kind of team that he knows he can have.
Both of these teams could very well wind up in the playoffs at the end of the year. There's no doubt about that.
No question.
But there is plenty of work to do for both teams. I think both coaches will go back and go, all right, we've got some work to do now moving forward to week 2.
Yep.
There's the knee taken by Riles, and that may do it. He will not need to snap the ball one more time. University Christian caps the Publix Bold City Showcase with a 21-14 victory over the Bulls Bulldogs. David Penland's team gets the win to start the season. Matt Tobin will have to wait till at least next game when they take on Hialeah Miami Lakes to get his first win as the head coach at Bulls. But these two storied programs play a very competitive game here to cap the Publix Bold City Showcase.